Now, my personal favorite is the quiz. And this is something that you can use either as a learning check or you can use it as something that is a definitive quiz for the course. I see this used a lot in flipped classrooms. So if you have people reading the content and watching videos ahead of time, they may use a quick 5-question quiz that is worth maybe 1 or 2 points to figure out, did they read the content? Are they engaged with it? Do they know what they're talking about? And you can even make it open book. So I'm going to call this quiz the color quiz. You can put a description of the quiz here. And again, the settings have changed a little bit, but depending on the assignment you have. So if I click on timing, I can choose when does the quiz open, when does the quiz close. So again, we see that similar to what we had with the assignment. So I'm going to enable these and I'm going to have it close 2 days from now. Time limit. So this is different for a quiz and assignment, where the assignment they have all day to do between that time frame. A quiz can be limited in time. So if I only want to give them 50 minutes to do a quiz, that means there is a countdown going through. Also, what happens when the time expires? So only the open attempts are submitted. You can see you can really lock this down and customize as much as you want for your learning style, your teaching style, and what you want. And also a little grace period. And this is more for the students won't see this, but this is for you on your end. So you don't get that person that tries to submit a quiz at 12:01 when it was due at midnight, and you get that frantic email going, oh, can you open that back up? This gives you as the instructor a grace period where they can still submit it. I can see it was late, but I'm not going to have to worry about reopening it up for every single person. Grade, again, grade category. So I have a category already set for quizzes. And how many attempts are allowed? Do I want to give them unlimited attempts or just 1 for this? And do I want, if I'm doing multiple attempts, am I taking the highest grade or the average? So if I'm giving them 2, I can do even just the first attempt or the last attempt. The layout. If we are doing a quiz that is a take-home quiz, this may come as a shock, but students do talk to each other at times. So you can choose how the questions are displayed. So if you want it to be shuffled randomly so they're all getting different question orders, you can do that. And also, do you want a new page for every single question where it has to load, or every 5 questions? I always recommend to keep in mind that students have different types of internet capabilities. So when you are doing a new page every question, it has to reload that page for every single question, which increases your chances of things going a little bit wonky when it comes to the internet. So if you do like every 5 questions or so, they're still getting that variation, they're still getting it shuffled randomly, but they're not having to load up every single page. If you are doing questions that are building off of each other, you may want to do the 1 question per page. That way they're not going back and looking. And you can also click on Show More. The navigation method, so again, if you're building off of questions, you may choose to do sequential instead of a free navigation where they can go back and forth. Question behavior, so shuffle with questions. So do you want the questions themselves to be, the answers to be shuffled within the questions there? And then do you want feedback? So do you want to have the immediate feedback on there? Is it going to be interactive with multiple tries? How do you want feedback to behave? And talking about feedback, here's the different feedback boundaries. So, if they reach 100%, what is the message that they get? If it's something that's a pass-fail and at 70% they get a different message, you just put the boundary in here, put in some text that they'll be able to see. And you can even add more grade boundaries in there, so you're not just limited to the 2. Hit Save and Display. And you'll notice there's no questions in that quiz. It didn't make you write any questions. That's where the Edit Quiz button comes in handy. So if I click Edit Quiz, this is where I start to really get into the details of the questions. Am I asking true and false? Am I asking multiple choice? How does this behave? So you can pull from question banks that you have already made as well. So once you make a question, it goes into the question bank. And you can draw from that as you need. So if you're pulling a midterm together that has questions from all of the quizzes you've done throughout the semester, you don't have to rewrite every single question. You can quickly pull from them. Just to write a question in general, if I go here to add a question, I can choose what kind of question I want that to be. And you can see there's ones for multiple choice, true and false. There's essay questions that you can do. There's even math-based questions for calculations. I'm going to do just a true and false as an example here. And you can see there's categories for within your questions. So this is category for the quiz. Is this a category for your whole course? So I'm going to do for the quiz itself. And the quiz name, this is the colors quiz bank. This is the actual question text, what they see. The question's name is more for you. So that way when you are looking at that list, I can say, oh, that's that question. So if this is maybe the biology ecosystem question. I know when I type in here, what is n is ... add the actual answer there, and then you can either make this a true or false question. So I'll call it false, and this is the feedback for each one. So if it's false, I can say you are correct, and you can even go into more detail. More detail about what an ecosystem is. Use your quiz as an ability to really dive more detailed into the material itself than just a yes or a no. It's a chance for you to add additional learning in kind of a gated way. Hit Save Changes, and now you can see I have that quiz right here. If I wanted to add a different question inside here, I can go into my category. So here's the category for the entire class. Checkbox the ones I want. Hit Add to Quiz, and you can see in a batch it added all of those questions for me. And just like that, I have a quiz already made. Now if I go back to iEngage demo again by using my breadcrumbs right up here, if I scroll down, I now have that quiz that students can do. If they click on that, they attempt the quiz now. You can see they have 2 attempts. They're already notified about that. Hit Start Attempt, and you can see here's true. And I know that was my false question there. Answer. Hit Next. And you can see, because I already had that feedback set in, it tells me what the answers were. So that's a preview from the faculty end. You're seeing what the students are saying for their quiz. If I wanted to see what a student sees for my entire course, I can do that.